Morning, welcome to Dublin. Tonight I'm going to be heading to Bohemians versus Shamrock Rovers. That's the biggest match in the domestic Irish football calendar. Both teams from Dublin, it's a Dublin derby, really looking forward to that one later. Normally I do these videos over a weekend, 48 hours, but on this occasion I've got 24 hours. Time now is about 10 o'clock. The flight landed at 9 AM this morning. I'm on a flight out of here at 6:30 AM tomorrow morning, so we've got one day to pack everything in. So one day exploring, the match tonight, and then back home tomorrow morning. So we better get a move on. I made a quick stop for a liquid breakfast. They start pretty early around here. The place was actually really busy. Music on already, packed out. So yeah, good place to start, but really short on time, so need to get moving. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna head and meet a guy called Patrick, and he runs a Dublin's Best Kept Secrets tour. We've got to meet him at St Stephen's Green, so let's walk down there now. Tour's over, sun's out, absolutely brilliant, really enjoyed it. Let's start with Patrick. What a guy he is. Really nice bloke, so funny.
Oh, I'm not here for this.
Come on now.
No, we're not.
Take that.
I can't, I walk 2 miles to get soap.
Oh, okay.
Had all the information, took us to all loads of great places. He took us around, showed us a load of like hidden gems in Dublin. Started off, went to a jeweller's. Met a jeweller called Barry. He makes silver rings. That was pretty interesting. Then we went to an ice cream shop and we got to try all the different flavours, learn a little bit how they make the ice creams, that sort of thing. That was cool. How do I explain the next place we went to? Sort of a bookshop, sort of a love letter to Ulysses, the book by James Joyce. The shopkeeper was a man called PJ, who was a real character. I think he spoke about 10 different languages. He knew everything about everything. He had a glass of whiskey in his hand. Really nice fella. And then we all took it in turns to read passages from Ulysses, which is something that I didn't expect. And then PJ got his guitar out, played us a song in Gaelic. After that we headed to Temple Bar. We went to a place called Icon Walk and spoke to a lady called Aga, who runs a artwork shop. It's almost like a community project as well, where they promote Irish people, Irish culture, actors, artists, sports people. And then we finished off at a place called the Clockwork Door, which is like it does all sorts. It's like you get tea and coffee, it's a workspace. I think they even do VR simulation in there you can do. But yeah, we all just sat around, had a chat, had some coffee, and that was it. If you are in Dublin, you can do all the main touristy things yourself. It's all on TripAdvisor, you can find it. But this tour is different because you're meeting local people, you're making friends, you're seeing local businesses, you're supporting local businesses. And Patrick is absolutely brilliant. So it's Dublin's Best Kept Secrets tour. And that's on Airbnb, so go on there and book that when you're in Dublin and you will not regret it. Next stop, we're heading to an Irish institution. It's the Jameson Distillery. Let's go and try some whiskey. Ooh, drama on the Jameson Tour. There's a group of French lads in there. They must have been away on like a lads trip away, whatever, and got chucked out for making too much noise.
Anybody else from the rest of that group?
We had another group.
Anybody else?
As far as I could make out, their only crimes were A, being French, and B, speaking in French. But whatever. Aside from that, really good tour, really interesting. A really smart place. We tried a few whiskies. I'm not much of a whiskey drinker. I had 3 different ones. Couldn't tell you the difference between any of them. And feel a little bit drunk after that now, to be honest. But yeah, it was good. There's just under 3 hours until kickoff now, so it's time to go and get some food because I'm absolutely starving. Come to a really cool place just up the road from the ground. It's called the Bernard Shaw, so it's a pub, but they also do food round the back. It's a big open space, lots of different vendors. Gone for the cheeseburger, always go for a burger. So a burger and a pint, let's see how we get on. But really nice out here, and the weather is spot on as well tonight, so it's a nice evening for it. Really glad I found that place, really glad I went in. Burger was absolutely spot on, pint obviously went down a treat. I wasn't prepared for this weather, the weather's gorgeous now. Interesting that now we're a little bit north of the city centre. Doesn't seem to be any tourists here whatsoever. That place was all local people, I'm pretty sure it was. The match tonight, pretty sure that's going to be all local people. So I feel like I'm maybe seeing more of like the real Dublin up here. I have to be honest with you, my knowledge of Irish domestic football is pretty minimal. I know that Bohemians and Shamrock Rovers is the biggest game. We've got the police coming past now actually. Little interruption by the police there. Well, the police vans are turning up, so something must be going on. I'd imagine it's going to be pretty lively. I've heard this is a huge rivalry, which is why I'm so keen to come over and experience it. We're in the early stages of the season, but Shamrock Rovers at the moment are in 2nd, Bohemians are in 6th. Bohemians are the home team tonight, so I'm going to be in the home end. Expecting a really good atmosphere, so let's head to the ground now and check out what's going on. When you arrive outside, you go between 2 rows of houses and you go through this sort of alley, and then it brings you out to the side of the stadium. It's really weird, it's kind of tucked between loads of houses. You can't actually sort of access it from around. To my right is a stand that looks like it hasn't been used in about 100 years. I'm sure it's much less than that, but all the flags are on there. Looks like it's been an old standing area, it's pretty cool. Opposite me, there's no one in that stand, but there's seats in there, so presumably people could go in there. And then I think to my left is where the away fans are going to be. But I can tell this is going to be a good one, yeah.
Starting 11s, beginning of our business tonight. Number 1.
time, I don't even know where to start with this one. Maybe with the fact that we kicked off 15 minutes late because of a load of trouble at the Shamrock Rovers, and they threw a load of flares on the pitch. There was pyro everywhere, in the Bohemians end as well, but not on the pitch. Loads of pyro on the end where the Shamrock Rovers fans were. Then a guy started fighting and a big fight broke out. They pulled the guy out. Eventually we got going 10 minutes late. Conceded 2 really, really sloppy goals. Bohemians have offered nothing. It's been a real shame because the fans have been brilliant. Hoping for a better effort from them in the second half, but the atmosphere has been absolutely brilliant, so hopefully more in the second half. Full time then, Bohemians 1, Shamrock Rovers 3. Bohemians couldn't make up for the poor first half performance. Atmosphere has been unbelievable. A little bit too lively at times. This game was supposed to finish at 9:30. It is now nearly 10 o'clock. Lots of delays because of flares and various shenanigans, but brilliant atmosphere. Long day, I'm dead on my feet. I'll speak to you later. Home time then. Outside the airport now. If you're sat there thinking, gosh, he looks terrible, yeah, it has been a pretty tough 24 hours on pretty much no sleep. I've had a few hours, but I thought I was going a bit delusional before. I just saw some rabbits over there in the bushes by the airport. I've never seen rabbits hopping around outside an airport before. There you go. Had a great 24 hours. I'm glad I did a few different things maybe than what you'd normally do in Dublin. The Dublin's Best Kept Secrets tour with Patrick was absolutely fantastic. I would 1,000,000% recommend doing that. Patrick was so funny, so knowledgeable, and I think that he was the star of this trip really. Also a special mention for PJ in the shop where we read Ulysses and stuff. A really interesting guy too. Moving on to the match, I think the best way to describe that would be chaotic. There was chaos in the stands, the game was chaos. The stadium itself is kind of chaotic, but it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. That stadium is so unique. It's really well worth a visit just on its own. The atmosphere in the ground was so good. Both sets of fans were fantastic. I felt for the Bohemians fans because in the first half the team just didn't turn up at all. And then when they did score, 35 seconds later or something, Shamrock Rovers went 3-1 up, so there wasn't a whole lot to cheer about for them. All the stuff with the fans throwing the flares and getting on the pitch, I just did not expect that. Just goes to show that there's a really, really amazing football culture in the League of Ireland that I didn't even know about. That's on me for being ignorant of that, but I'll totally be following the League of Ireland going forward because the game was great. It was back and forward, like I said, pretty chaotic, but a great watch. But now it's time to go home and get some sleep, but I can't wait to do the next one of these.